And yes, we are live. Thank you for joining me today. If you are in, if you can hear me, you can see me, say hello. Indicate by saying hello. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Put it in the comment section. Welcome, 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 welcome. I'm excited to have you today. Welcome. So now, let's just dive into it. Yeah? Who is ready? Yay! Who is ready? Yay! Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I am glad to have you here. Thank you for joining me live. Now, good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Chim Som Ogu, your skin and confidence doctor. I help you not just glow your skin, but from within, because I believe that true beauty starts from your mind. Now, what are we talking about today? We're going to be talking about healing the child within and reclaiming your confidence. So, who is excited? Now, let's dive into it. I promise not to take much of your time. We just have 15 minutes and our timer starts now. So, looking at everything through the lens of a child, who are you today? Some of us don't realize that who we are today is shaped by some of the experiences we had as children. We are not aware that what was done to us, what was not done, and those actually affect who we become, as adults today. Now, the way we view life is a reflection of the programming that some of us picked up as children. The truth is that a lot of people are not aware of this thing. They're not conscious of the fact that, you know, the way they react to people, the way they talk, the way they handle circumstances may be because of something they experienced as a child. Now, until you're able to identify and heal it, the program is going to control your life, it's going to control your confidence, it's going to control who you become. Now, what are those early experiences that shape our confidence? Let's start by talking about your home environment, where you grew up, who you played with outside, how you were parented, what your parents knew, your upbringing, the way you were disciplined, words that you heard from your parents or caregivers or family members, people that were, close to you, things that your teachers said to you, the experiences you had in school. Children can be mean sometimes, and some of those things that they do may actually follow you until you grow up and shape who you become. Now, the way you were compared to your peers and people around you, the people you made friends with when you were a child. Sometimes as children, we're looking for validation, we're making friends with the wrong set of people. And then the expectations that your culture and your environment put on you. Some of us were children that struggled maybe in math and we had to work so hard. Yet some people were finding it easy. Then we had the trophy children that, used to come first, used to be the best. And somehow that put some kind of pressure on them that they couldn't handle as children. And it affected who they later became. In case they started to, decline, it now became a problem. Now, these experiences become the lens through which you see yourself, and it affects your confidence and affects the way you can truly glow. So now let's talk about myself. Let me tell you my story. I grew up as a timid child. I was that child that when other children are playing, I will find a place. I'll be on my own. I didn't know how to mix. I didn't know how to, mix with other children and play. And I remember a house help comparing me with other children and telling me that I was so ugly. She used to say, "Ibe kokoro." I don't know if you're able, if you understand what I'm trying to say. She used to, make me feel bad. So I internalized it. And I felt like I wasn't good enough to play with those other children that they used to compare me with. So most times, this thing can, linger on. Even when you succeed, you keep doubting your self-worth. Now, confidence begins when you silence that old voice and by yourself rewrite your story, because nobody is going to do it for you. Now, we those of us that grew up in African homes, we had some things like you don't do anything right. Imagine someone telling you, "Oh, You can't cover the salt very well. You never cover it well. Because of that, you can't be a doctor. You're going to forget something in somebody's stomach. I mean, how does it really relate when you think about it? But as a child, you take it in. You take it as truth. We had things like, oh, you look at your mates. Do they have 10 heads? They're coming first. You know, our parents, did some of those things through love. People around us, they thought they were showing us love. And really, it was based on what they knew. It doesn't mean that they didn't love us, but they were acting based on what they knew at the time. But they didn't understand that those words affected our self esteem. It affected our confidence deeply and the way were showing up. Now, when your childhood pain becomes your adult insecurity, it becomes a problem. And some of us don't know that this is the cause of that's the reason why we can't show up like we should. Your pain could be emotional. Some people had emotional, blackmail. Some people were raped as children or were abused, physical abuse. There were some people were exposed to violence. Maybe they were in a house where their parents used to fight. They saw those things. Some people, their parents were not emotionally available and they were constantly criticized. And you know what that does to you as a child? You start to doubt yourself. So you grow up to become an adult that you're not sure, you can't make a decision. You have an idea in your mind, but you don't want to say it. Like, I'll use myself for example. Because going to medical school, someone told me that I wasn't intelligent enough to study medicine. So even when I got to medical school and I failed, it was like that thing in my head telling me that they told you so. That it was like a reality in my head for me at that time. You understand? So it affected the way. So even when I knew an answer when the question was asked, I wasn't bold enough to say it. And when somebody says, I'm like, why didn't I talk? Because I didn't think that I was intelligent enough to show up. So sometimes as children we're blamed for other people's wrongs, and these experiences caused fear, caused some of us to become, perfectionists, caused us to doubt ourselves later in life. Now, words are very powerful. Words become beliefs, and beliefs become your identity. So even as we are adults, we should be careful what we say to people. You understand? We should be careful how, especially children, don't be the voice in a child's head. Because most times we see some things, we have forgotten it and we have moved on. But that child has internalized it and has become and has taken that in as a truth. Because their brains are not as developed as, those of us that are adults. So they take things more seriously than we do sometimes. So now let me give you an example of someone that some of us know. Steve Harvey. He kept saying that as a child, he used to stammer. And then one day they had an assignment and they said, oh, write down what you want to be as an, adults. And he said he wanted to be on TV. And you know what his teacher told him? His teacher asked him, is there anybody in your lineage that has ever been on TV? And he said, no. I said, so why do you think you'll be on TV? And the class laughed at him and they made fun of him. But luckily for him, he had a father that understood the power of words. When he got home and told his father said, write it on a piece of paper. I will be on TV and say it to yourself every day. Put it under your pillow. Before you lie down, bring it out and say it and believe it. And years later, he said that he sends a TV to that teacher every year so that he ensures that that teacher is watching him on TV. So affirmations and persistence can rewrite your inner story. So now, how do we heal from this inner hurt that is probably affecting the way we show up? The first thing to do is to identify and name those limiting beliefs. Now, I want you to write in the comment sections, what are some of those limiting beliefs that you have? What are those things that they told to you that when you sit down, sometimes you don't even want to think back at them, you don't want to remember them, you are afraid of thinking back because you can't change what you can't identify. You can't change what you can't name. If you don't know that it's there, you'll not be able to take steps, to change it. So you first of all have to identify. Then, if you need professional help, please seek it. If you need a mentor, a coach, if you need to read books, you need to attend courses, invest in it because that is what is going to help you become who you truly are meant to be. That's what's going to help you grow and shine from within. Then also let's about journaling. Now, journaling helps you even if you can't talk to somebody. Journaling is like talking to yourself. you're reflecting, you're writing down your feelings. Some of us are afraid of doing journaling because we don't really want to, we're afraid of what we're going to discover. But if you feel like you can't talk to someone and you just want to, try to identify yourself, write it down. There are some hurts that are so bad that we don't feel comfortable enough to share with somebody, but yet it's affecting the way we show up in life. So, journaling your thoughts and feelings is a way to help you identify and grow out of it. Then, another thing is to extend grace. Extend grace to yourself. Extend grace to people around you. Extend grace to the people that hurt you, because most times it wasn't even about you. It was about their own hurts. It was about their own insecurities. It was about their own problems that they were, reflecting on you. It wasn't something that you did, but as a child, you believed it was you. So forgive them and forgive yourself. If not, you'll not be able to move on. Then ask yourself a simple question: what they said about me, is it true? Was it true? Challenge it, because sometimes they say, oh, you're not intelligent because maybe you did not do well at maths, but you're good at drawing. There are different gifts, there are different ways of intelligence. So that you're not good at maths doesn't mean that you're dumb. And then we live with that belief and we grow with it, and then it shapes who we become. Now, it's important to also create a structure for healing yourself and sticking with it. Have a plan of how you're going to help yourself grow, because how do you know you've grown, you've left that place, when you're able to talk about it and express it and use it to help other people, use your experience to help other people. So focus on your strengths. Every type of intelligence matters. Then build affirmations around what you want to see, not what you wear, because you're on a journey to becoming confident. You're a journey to becoming the best version of yourself. And then find scriptures where you can anchor, that align with what you want to see. And so that when those thoughts come to your head, you have something to combat it, something to, cancel it and all. Now, there are some truths and lies that we were told. For example, like I said before, a lie: I'm not intelligent. The truth is that I am gifted differently. And the gifts I have matter. Your gifts may be that you talk too much. And maybe a teacher told you that, oh, talk it, you're always talking. Won't you shut up? And because of that, you shrunk and you never got the opportunity. That was what happened to me. I never got the opportunity to express myself, to speak like I'm speaking today. It took me to change myself. Now, another lie that we hear is that failure is a bad thing. They bring you down for failing and make you feel as if because of that one failure, you cannot rise. Every great person has a story of failure. So the important failure is important because it gives you feedback. It's not final. So the important thing is what you do with failure, not, it doesn't define you. Another lie is that some people say, oh, you're so ugly. But the truth is that everybody is uniquely crafted. The way you are is the way God intended you to be. And there's a purpose for the way you look. So embrace it and, stand with it and believe in it. Sometimes we feel, oh, I'm not enough because of something somebody told you as a child. The truth is that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. The way God made you, you are enough. Now, in the Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So if that your childhood trauma keeps making you think that you're not good enough, and you allow it, that's what you're going to become. So change the way you think and align it to what you want to become so that you can be transformed. Because the Bible also says that you should be transformed by renewing of your mind. So you should understand that if you renew your mind, it will give you some kind of healing of your mindset. And that's where true and inner glow comes from. So now let's go to affirmations for this week. I want you to say after me: I release the pain of my past and I embrace my true glow. My childhood does not define me. My healing does. I am intelligent, I am creative, and divinely gifted. I extend grace to myself and others. I rewrite my own story because nobody else is going to do it for me. I am confident, whole, and radiant from within. And yes, I would end today without giving you a skincare tip for the week. It is Hamatan. Vaseline, yes, it's okay, but it's not enough. It's not a true moisturizer. It actually just, locks in the moisture you have, but it doesn't truly moisturize your skin. So get yourself a rich hydrating cream that says for dry skin during this Hamatan, so that you can nourish your skin and glow have glowing skin this period. Now, to close, I'll say to you, you are not your past mistakes or pain. You are the person you choose to become today. So, guys, thank you for joining me this week on this week's episodes of Glow into the Week. I am Dr. Chimsom Ogu. I help you to glow from inside out. Hope you had a nice and wonderful time. Thank you for joining. Love you all. See you again this same time next week. Have a nice day.